You start to realize and you start to build a family, you start to get married, you start to have kids, time becomes of the essence. And you can't buy back time, no matter how much you try.
Kelvin Beachum has done it all. He's a football player, investor, philanthropist, and public speaker. His work and ambitions earned him a nomination for the NFL's Man of the Year award, a coveted prize that highlights players' excellence on and off the field. But he says, once his pro days are over, there's more to come with his next play.
You not play to the whistle. You not play to the whistle. Come on now.
When you were mentioning what's important to your life, you mentioned faith, football, family, but you also mentioned what's important to you is what comes after football. So what are you doing right now to prepare for that stage?
As athletes, it's one thing to actually do something while you're playing. You have the platform to do it, but how are you going to be able to keep this going after you're done playing? And for me, I really think about that quite a bit. It's who am I spending time with now that I can actually build a relationship that's going to last 10, 20 years from now. For me, it's laying the foundation. Laying the foundation with things that I'm passionate about, things that I enjoy doing, whether it's, ending hunger both domestically and worldwide and doing things in the hunger space, whether it's spending time learning about the different aspects of STEM and STEAM education and how they apply to underfunded and underdeserved communities, primarily for Black and brown people. Kind of figuring out what that looks like at scale, thinking about where I want to impact the world and where I want to impact society. Can we collaborate for the next 10 to 20 years? Not just this one-off program that happens to happen, once a year when I'm in season, but how can this thing span out and last for a long time? And I really sit down and think about that quite often.
At Southern Methodist University, Beachum earned both his bachelor's and master's degree while playing collegiate football. Beachum's hustle continued in his pro years, becoming an athlete investor with stakes in tech platforms like Affinity. As for what he will do after the NFL, Beachum says his plans will be dictated by the relationships he's forming in the Big Apple. Let's talk about New York. Was there a framework for how you got involved with the community here?
The business stuff was easy, honestly, because everybody knows somebody here in New York. And as I was starting to get into tech a little bit more, it was, all right, well, who are the most influential and impactful people within the tech community here in New York? And started to build a framework of how to spend time with them. Where do they hang out at? How can I get to know them personally? Because it's one thing to meet somebody in their office. It's another thing to meet them, with their family while they're walking their dog, for breakfast with their son or with their daughter. So it's building out understanding that I got to meet people where they are. Yes, I'm a professional athlete, but I got to go meet people where they are and actually spending time on their turf and then not asking for anything. I'm still playing football. There's no reason for me to ask for anything. I don't need money. I'm not trying to raise a fund. I'm not trying to do any of those things. So for me, it's going in with no agenda. And I have no agenda because I'm still playing football. I'm still learning. So right now, I'm just trying to be a sponge. I'm trying to meet with and spend time with the most influential people in tech. So when I'm done playing, when I'm trying to go knock on somebody's door, it's not, hey, this former player is knocking on our door to ask about, how do you get involved in tech? No, I've been doing this for the last couple years that I've been here in the area, and it's authentic, genuine relationship.
Beachum has invested in FreightWaves, a content and data forum focused on the freight industry, and Yobs, a talent acquisition platform. The NFL veteran is also an executive board member at 2 schools under the SMU umbrella. Meanwhile, his philanthropic efforts continue to expand, and he says there's one key to balancing it all.
I think time management is, one of the most important qualities that you can start to develop as a young player. Because if you realize how important your time is, you can start to think about the ways in which to make success a habit. It's a quote by Aristotle: "You are what you repeatedly do, therefore excellence is not an act, but a habit." And when you're able to have time management be a habit where you know exactly what you want to do, how you want to do it, you become a pro. And the best way to be in the National Football League or to be successful outside of the football field is to be a pro's pro. And a pro's pro knows what to do, where to do it at, when to do it, how to do it, and making sure it's done right. And I think time management is one of those things that people don't talk about enough. I don't think athletes talk about it enough. I don't think business people talk about it enough. But I think that's one of the most important, I guess, concepts that I would really kind of urge young people to think about is understand how to use your time, how to maximize your time, how to be very efficient and productive with your time. Because if you're able to do that, I think you're able to get a lot more done.